Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramnaya Om. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
न्यहस्त्य विद्या मनसोऽतिरिक्ता मनसो ह्यविद्या भवबन्धहेतुः तस्मिन् विनष्टे सकलं विनष्टम् विजिम्पतेऽस्मिन् सकलं विजृम्भते. Apart from the mind, there is no ignorance. Mind itself is the ignorance, which is the cause of bondage of conditioned existence. When the mind is destroyed, everything else is destroyed. When the mind manifests, everything else manifests. This is from Viveka Choodamani of Adi Sankaracharya.
Thank you. What Neelakantan ji just said about Bhagavan said the same thing, Mano Nasha. But how many people understand what is this Mano Nasha? Some think that get rid of the thoughts, but intellect is very, very important. We are intellectual beings. And all over the world, a powerful intellect is always respected. In spirituality, this intellect is the biggest problem. Intellect, buddhi, it is the power of mind to analyze, to judge, to discriminate, to come to an interpretation by comparing with previous information in the mind. Intellectual people, intellectual knowledge. This intellect is the obstacle in knowing pure intelligence. When we use this intellect to know that, and we try our best, we realize we are at loss. We have no clue about reality which we can't see. And our intellect says what we see is reality. Our intellect says whatever we see, what else evidence do you need for reality? And what you don't see with this limited sensory apparatus, we think is the only thing which can be perceived. So we come to this conclusion that there is no God, and this is all what it is. So the most intellectual people in the world has already made God as dead, non-existent. The more we have developed this intellect, more it is difficult to know this sublime truth. Because problem is not intellect alone, but with a highly developed intellect, there is also a high ego, high I amness, that I know everything, or at least I know a lot of things. So this relative knowledge we can be proud of. That is again an obstacle. Because that what we want to know can only be known by that, not by intellect or mind or person or anyone with body identification. Only that knows itself. That means we cannot know that. So whatever we think we are, we have to make it disappear. Then it can be known by itself, which is already there. And the one who is trying to know in this search disappears. There is no other way except to disappear. We have gathered so many medals, trophies on our earthly journey, achievements. They are all through intellect, mind. Ego is so proud of it. And someone comes and says you have to give up all this intellect, ego, mind. We don't want to give up. We only know this and we want to know God also by this. Okay, if you are really honest and you want to know God by intellect, try your best. One day, if you are really serious, this ego intellect will merge, will disappear, and you will know that. So even with intellect or ego, if you want to know that, with your sincerity, this will finish it off its own limited identity, and that will be known by that only. But we will know that we are that. When I am trying to explain, it is impossible to explain, and it looks more complicated than simplified when I'm trying to say. I don't know who understands. Because there is no way to explain. One day when we keep trying, finally we surrender. That I don't have any apparatus by which I can know that. This is the way to know that. Not by ego, that I know everything, I have read all books. I know nothing exists. People have gone to moon. They couldn't find God. People have gone to moon within the domain of time and space, that is beyond time and space. People have gone to moon full of ego, not empty. You don't have to go to moon. You can be just sitting in a hut without ego and you will know it. You don't need any technology. It is not somewhere in outer space that you have to find him there. It is in our heart. And not separate, not something which we have to see, look. It is us only. This higher power, higher intelligence, divine intelligence is also giving power to our ego, our intellect. But we don't look that way. We keep looking in one direction outwardly. Inwardly is silence. Inwardly is meeting your own self in silence. Not judging, not analyzing, not commenting on anything. Just be. This is power of silence. It is profound. No one in this world is ever able to explain it. Only, I believe, Bhagavan, Ramana Maharshi was only able to explain it in his silence. Because apart from silence, nothing can explain it. Stephanie, you want to ask something?
Yeah. Hi, thank you so much. I think you already started talking about it, but I'm thinking of the image of the chariot in the Katha Upanishad when the buddhi, the intellect, helps us stay away from the world, from the senses, to turn away. And then what I understand, what Ramana has said is we have to go back the way we came with the I thought, that we trace it back. And isn't that true also of the intellect? That it also has to go back? I've never heard him say that directly, but it would seem like the right use of it would be to trace it back.
You can say you trace it back, that identity which we all the time keep saying, I do this, I did that, it is my story, me, mine, tracing that I and going to the source. But the moment we realize that whatever conditioning with small knowledge, which we call it our intellect, we know it has no power. And the moment you realize it's not a tool, it just drops. So it is our own realization which makes it drop also. Because all power which we think is of our own intellect comes from that source only, and very limited. So you are right, that we have to go back. Go back to the source, go back to where you came from, go within, whatever way you can understand it. But I have to say, this going back within, meeting that beloved, occurs only in silence. Some people say they hear another voice of God within them. I will call it a split personality, or or schizoid, or is schizophrenic, or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes we also have two types of thoughts. One saying yes, other saying no. You can say the one as godly voice and one as ego voice. They are all ego voice. The moment we merge in that source, there is nothing to say or nothing to discuss. With powerful intellect, we do a lot of planning. We love certainty. We don't want to be uncertain about anything. Everything we want to know before we jump into it. But that is beyond logic, beyond any certainty. It just Arni, do you want to ask anything?
Yeah, just a quick one, Sanjay. As regards to the intellect, you said, because I understand that the moment you realize there is no means of understanding, or you cannot really use that, you don't have power to know that thing, and then there's silence. But at the same time, I'm also kind of confused because I heard about the famous analogy that just like a stick that you use to steer the burning fire, I was thinking about the intellect investigate itself, or the ego investigate itself, or I mean using it, and then once it becomes turned 180 degrees, then it becomes maybe swallowed by the self. So that's it. But but I really like the one that you said earlier, like that when you realize there's nothing to, because you don't have the means to know this, because it's not an object, it's not a phenomena that the mind can objectify. But the only way you can do is to investigate. It's the intellect or the mind itself, or just like the stick burning fire, like the stick, then eventually it might be swallowed.
But how long you want to keep this stick? This is the biggest issue. Everyone wants to keep this stick till they are turned 99.99 years of age. So this is the biggest issue. People love it. They like this. This I have heard at least 1,000 times. This example, like a stick at the burning fire. Later it finish. So people keep hold of this stick. They don't even bring to burning fire. They keep it cool, and they keep rotating it. This is the biggest issue. Try to just understand the thing and don't worry about whether it's burning fire or a stick. Get rid of the stick. Drop the stick. Let that which knows it. It already knows it. It's already free. We are holding this stick. That's why we are not free. Just drop the stick. The thing is that this analogy is good for a seeker when he's going into it. No, wise. We are here for so long, the stick should have been finished by now. What a stick, Because the moment we realize that all this separate identity by which we are doing and working, and it has no power, then just drop it. And also with the investigation, what people say, I'm investigating for 5 years. Arey bhai, once you know that this is useless, this I, then just drop this I and just be in that awareness. That awareness is the only thing. It is always there. Even there is nothing to be in awareness, like who will be. It's only awareness. There is not that I, ego, which will jump and stay in awareness and then come out of awareness and keep practicing, and one day this I will dissolve in awareness. Nothing could be done for that. The moment we realize that we, in the capacity of a mind-body complex, as a separate identity cannot do anything. Surrender becomes a natural state if you are really a ardent seeker, because there is nothing else. We become helpless. Nirmal ke bal Ram. When we are weak, so weak, then Ram speaks out. He takes over. He is already there. Everything is that only. Only this form thinks I am doing something and I'll reach somewhere and I'll know something. And the biggest problem comes when there is some experience of when the only self is there. The mind returns and it calls an experience, and it looks for those experiences. While this is such a natural state, Sahaj Avastha, in which there is no need for any experience. I am not sure how many people understand this witnessing. I believe it has so much of power. This witnessing witnesses I thought, all thoughts, our conditioning, our subtle moves with people, in workplace, in our mind. And this witnessing, when it is really witnessing everything, all this garbage just finishes over, because the witnessing has so much of power. It is so pure. It is like you are always with a friend who is so pure, so humble, so nice, that all the tricks which you play with the word, he is watching, and he is your close friend and you want to impress upon him. So you are so ashamed, you stop your dirty tricks. It is like that. The power of this witnessing dissolves all our dirty tricks. It makes us pure. It is the best holy company. It is the best satsang, which is always with us. Only thing is to identify that, to acknowledge it. Raj, do you want to ask something?
Namaste, Sanjay.
Namaste, Raj.
It's the same thing. You said there's so many voices coming in the mind, in the intellect state, but then in the witnessing, in the silence, also sometimes something is heard, but something more, it's not the same. It's not pulling, it's kind of confirming something. So is this also ego, or is this also mind? in its like shape-shifting way. I mean, I felt like asking this.
Can you explain it more? Can you elaborate on what type of thoughts are you calling as coming from self?
Like when there is a thought, like sometimes, of course, there is a dualistic, like I want to do this, I don't want to do this and all. And sometimes when there is just pure witnessing and quiet for any situation, automatically, there is a realization, there is something that comes, that some unreal is dropping, and then that is observed. But it sometimes comes as a voice or something, but it's not from the same place. It's from a deeper place, that there is a voice that says like a aha kind of a thing, that, and then suddenly it's kind of everything clears and drops. But there is a conversation about it, like if I'm speaking and then something is pointed, like I was reading and something is pointed to in a pointer, and then suddenly something drops, but after that there is something saying, aha, yes, this is it, or this is it, kind of makes sense or something. Is that again back the intellect coming back and claiming ownership, or saying, I understand, I know it, or now I know it, or so it's something I wanted to do.
Look, the thing is that even, let's say, if intellect is saying, look, I now know it and I understand it, and it's understanding and it's surrendering and it's accepting things should be not taken as any winning situation for anything. I have to tell you something which is very important, which happens with most of the spiritual seekers, that they start getting very intuitive about things. They know that there's something about someone they call, and then they realize that person was trying to call them, or is too sick, or something has happened by which they understand that this call which they were thinking, or the intuition came and they were needed, and it just happened, like telepathy, and so many things like which you can say as serendipity, or how it happens. And if it's happening, if you put it to your own, yes, I am there and I know it, and look, I am getting siddhis or some power, it actually takes away all that humbleness, and it takes away that silence, and it becomes like a noisy. And then even if you feel like that, which gives you some proud or some goodness in you, but it does not give you that, it takes away that humbleness, which is very, very important ingredient of silence. This is the reason why a real guru, a teacher, or even an enlightened being would not give any importance to these coincidences, and when someone is being benefited by their presence. And I'll tell you, Bhagavan is the best example. So many things happened in front of him. He either said no, that he has not done anything, or he kept quiet. And I have to say why he said he didn't do, because no person does anything. Nobody knows even how it happens. But because the energy is pure things, and you have surrendered your own intellect, something else is giving all that. Because all what we see is coming from that infinite source. It has infinite power. Everything can come out from that nothingness. Anything can come out. And anything it can do. Anything it can do. So this power of, when we say from the logic, our mind, our intellect follows logic reasoning. But beyond that, that power has no logic. The mind and our working is within the domains of, you can say, science or some sort of theories. But beyond that, there is nothing there, Beyond that, there is nothing. And there is not one example, there are hundreds and hundreds of examples about these things in old. Like Periya Puranam, they say that there was a Shiva devotee, and to show him down, the priest of the temple tied the garland on the idol behind and made someone to sit with a rope so it does not, because he said if he's true bhakta, that garland from the idol of Shiva will come and will come to his. You will think how the garland can fly and can come, like, there's no logic. In spite of that, the priest was still scared and he made someone, and then it still came. What is logic in it? No logic. It is beyond logic, Where the logic ends, the divine starts. The divine understanding of divinity comes there. So beyond logic, when things are happening in a seeker, and it happens, I have heard so many, everyone gets something. You call serendipity or coincidence or, some sort of a power I am getting, and you just lose it, because lose it in a sense that you might have that, but then something takes credit, and that taking credit is ego. We should just accept. Now, if a thought is coming as a war or whatever, but don't identify with any thought. You are nothing. There is no point of identification in this whole cosmos, which you can say it's me. Inside you, the internal structure of feeling, emotion, thoughts is also part of mind and matter, not you. So if it comes, a sound comes, that sound comes, another thought comes, it's not you. Even if someone's, the sound comes, Ram, 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 or Shiva, or that is also not you. It is just a sound, Though it is a divine sound, it's beautiful. So many people are divine who are not even in spirituality. They are very, very good people, So it's all pure. There are a lot of sattvic things in this world. So, but I am nothing. So having that bhav, that feeling, that is very important all the time for everything. And that will keep you always grounded in that energy of self-awareness all the time. And then, because whenever we want to take any credit, it gives such a uneasiness in you. I'm pretty sure all seekers know this. The moment that even let's say you have 1% of ego left, and that wants to take credit of any goodness happening around you, you feel suffocated, you don't want to take any credit also. This is exactly like we don't want to take discredit. Egoistic people don't want to take any discredit. Anything went wrong, they blame on others. You did it, you did like that, that's why this is not me. But for a sadhu, as a saintly person or seeker, does not want to take credit. It is the other way around. He's okay with discredit. But for credit, it becomes like ahankar will get bigger, ego will get bigger. I don't want to. I can't hold on to it. He is doing it. So we give all credit to the father or to that mother of all mothers. These are very subtle things which it's not in a book, but it is our book of life which tells us, that humility and humbleness is the key to freedom. Because all the time we have only known that knowledge, relative knowledge, when we are proud of it, I saw a lady today, and she changed state. She is now in Perth. I referred to a professor there, and she came to see me today, and she says, Sanjay, He's so egoistic. I know he's intelligent and he's a professor but I can't tolerate. Give me some simple doctor there, I said, look, I don't know. And people also feel that if someone has learned a lot on this earth, they should be egoistic. This is also people's belief system is. But it's not true. I've seen people who know so much and they're so humble, so nice, so down to earth. We don't have to have any proud of anything, because the next second what happens to this body, who knows? With a stroke of life, we can have a stroke and memory can go away. Anything can happen, accident. So that power knows everything. Sometimes it gives us some understanding of things which we should accept. And witnessing is very powerful. I think it is a very powerful tool for all of us. But if we keep in our thoughts and tease apart thoughts, then it is not witnessing. We are actually in it. Witnessing is someone who is very outside the ring. Boxing is going on between thoughts and we are just watching the show. Not for this, not for that. Let's see what is happening. Let's just see. We are silent witness, in silence we just see things as they unfold. And whether they unfold or not, we really start realizing that we are already sorted out. That silent witness is that. All this kachra, garbage of thoughts is just outside, external. Then we start realizing, then this wisdom dawns on us that we are always free. There's nothing for us to do more than just witnessing and abiding in our silence. Okay, I think Raj, I'll keep going. I think Gretchen wants to ask something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you.
My question is witnessing and neti the same?
You guys put so many questions like, I don't know, what do you mean by neti? Not this, not this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How can they
Yes.
be? They're completely different. Witness is an English word, neti is a Sanskrit word. Neti means not this, not this. Witness means, we all know, witness, sakshi. How can they be same? What do you mean? Like, can you elaborate? What are you asking?
It seems like when I'm witnessing, I'm also saying not this.
Why are you saying?
It's like I'm separating. Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just the experience of watching seems like I'm watching what isn't me. Well, I'm watching my ego. Does that make sense?
You are watching your ego. Okay, yeah, keep going.
So when I'm watching my ego, I know that it's not the silence. I'm watching from silence. So as I'm watching my ego, I am making a separation.
Mm-hmm. And then
So
what
it
happens?
seems like neti.
But why you have to say this, watching my ego? Why not a ego? Watching ego.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You are giving a relationship straight away, isn't it? My ego.
Mm-hmm.
Watching my. I think when you are using term my ego, you are not doing neti. Neti neti means nothing. What you are saying, we just discussed, me and Raj, the same thing. That this thought or that thought, or thought coming from the self, or thought coming from this, and feeling, and not this, not this. That's what we were saying. It's neti only. Because anything which you can point towards, you can feel, touch, hear, listen, or you can put into any, you can objectify, can't be you. The relationship only makes us that. Identification makes us that. Otherwise, witnessing is not a paranoid witnessing that it has to watch an ego, it has to watch a thought, like some type of voyeurism. No, it is complete freedom. Just whatever it is, or nothing. This thought of not this comes only when you are involved. Otherwise, why to say not this? Let's say a dog is sitting next to us. Would you say not this to dog? We already know I'm not dog. You don't have to say not this to dog. But can you do this, that one day you can say that I am that dog and not this body? Only this, and not this. Can we do that? Actually, that can be a very, very, very good exercise to get rid of this body identity. Get a dog body identity and give up this body identity. Can we do that? Because if you see, either we are nothing or we are everything, all or none, in reality. Because awareness in this and you and everything and a phone, everything is same. There's no gap. I'll give you an example. When someone used to ask Bhagavan's permission during his time that he's leaving and he's going to his village or whatever pilgrimage, I'm leaving, I'm going. Bhagavan used to say, where can you go? People have no clue. They keep thinking in their head, why he's saying like this? Why can't I go? Maybe he doesn't want me to go. But awareness, where will it go? Everywhere it is. He always was speaking from the absolute point of view. He never was using Vyavaharik Satya. Like day-to-day practice, we say, speak like this with our name and to others. But he kept his same absolute term in everything. Because they were all seekers. They were not just normal people around him. That's why he wanted them to just be in that. And this can be a very good practice to see yourself maybe as a book, maybe as a pet, maybe something else. Because those things don't say that they are they. Not even a pet, not a house, not a car. We only say it is my pet, my car, my house. We have expanded this identity to these things also. My ego, my body. Body never says that I am your body. We say. Dog never says that he's my boss. We say he's my dog. Without leash, he will run away. You have to chase. When it comes to neti, there is nothing which you can say is yours. Nothing. Whatever these senses are perceiving, nothing is us. All is rented. Body, thoughts, mind, intellect, word. Exactly like our dream. Everything is rented and it finishes when the dream changes to this waking dream. Where they all go? Even in that dream, have you realized that we get a new body? So without body, nothing exists. In deep sleep, when there is no body, then nothing exists. That means we have to finish this body identification. Has anyone seen any dream in which everyone has a body except us and we don't have a body? And there is no I in it. Or everyone in this dream is me only. That would be a beautiful dream. If in that dream we are everyone, because we have created that dream. So I am everyone. So that means the dream is the biggest illusion. It deceives us every night. We create all the dream, the situation, people, so many bodies. It is me only. I am the creator. Yet in the dream, I stay as one person and then rest and then situation. And though we know all of us today this thing very clearly, but at night when you dream, we again get into the same illusion. Every night we are fooled. Can someone report next day that this time I had a dream? Because Sanjay, you said that I felt I am everyone. And I have to say it can happen. But it will only happen once it happens in this waking dream right now, where you see yourself as everyone. Because that awareness is not changing in waking, dream and deep sleep. Some people call it fourth state or turiya. But some people call it a state. State means that as if it will be fourth. Then you again go through waking, dream, deep sleep, and then turiya, and then waking dream. No. That awareness stays the same. It is not a state. It is that awareness which is also in waking, dream and deep sleep. But when it becomes so pragad, so intense that we identify only with awareness, not with the changing mind states of waking, dream and deep sleep, then some people use another term known as turiyatit, that beyond turiya. Then you can say that, look, waking, dream, deep sleep and this turiya, everything is in me. Everything is happening in me. Even those states are happening in me. It is not stages of enlightenment, but you get so deep into it, by constant attention in that only. And a seeker, the moment they have more solitude or not working or in their own, quietness, we all have acknowledged that we get so deep into it. See, in Bhagavan's case, he had ample of time to spend time in his own state, oblivious to his body and bodily needs, not for 1 month or years. to an extent that he had difficulty in speaking again. He felt writing on the ground easier than speaking anything. Lost all that faculty. And as his prarabdha or destiny, he started speaking again, much to our benefit. When the witnessing becomes natural without efforts, you don't even call it witnessing, it is just our natural state. Uninvolved. Body acts, things happens. Actions to others might look interesting. We are interested, but things just happens. Kavya, you can
Hello?
ask question.
Yeah, hello Sanjay. I hope
Yeah, we
I'm
can
audible.
listen. We are hearing you. All are hearing you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I have noticed this weird experience of, when there is stuff.
I think your system is not working because you're dropping and then you disappear and then your video comes or you become mute. Maybe we can try next time. Maybe there's some problem with the connection. I think some issue is there. I don't know. I think it is because now it's 9:31 p.m. Already an hour. Anyway, you can write this if let's say it's not working, you can write some message and we can look into that. Knowing is so easy, so simple, but the problem is we have developed this intellect too much of mind, too much of intellect, too much of ego. The question, there is a weird cough that interrupts. Weird cough interrupting now when you were talking, or I don't understand this question. Maybe see a respiratory physician for that. He can prescribe some antibiotic or something. Otherwise, I don't know what this question means. Before calling cough as weird, better to investigate properly. Anyway, any other question, or we can just sit in silence. Silence is so beautiful. Just stay in the silence. Spend time away from everything. Some people go on holidays. I think that's a terrible time. more busy in planning, going, meeting, doing, things not working, stuff stolen, missing flight. Real holidays, staying without any attributes. Then it's a holiday, eternal holiday. I have to say one thing, some people who, do some very good religious activities or they abstain from bad stuff, whatever you call it, non-veg or alcohol or smoking or drugs, I don't know. Some people think they are very pure and they are really good. And the ego sprouts and start criticizing others. These people are doing this, they don't get up in morning, I get up in morning. So sometimes you see that though what they are saying, they're putting more efforts, but then this criticism for others comes and as if they are superior, others are inferior. Now come to someone who is purest of pure. Let's take Bhagavan. Is he criticizing anyone? Because in that pure awareness, you know everything, internal, external, all, in everyone. It becomes so transparent. Your own transparency is there, everyone's transparency is there. In that transparency, do you criticize people? No, never. Why? Because you also see beyond that the same sun is shining in them equally bright as in you. Only they don't know this. And with just love, you want to remove that obstacle so they can also see it. That's why it's not to help others. It is that same awareness is flowing. Nobody is helping others. Don't think saints help others. No, they are helping themselves only because it's their own awareness. And the one who does not know is not a bad person. They ignorant. Ignorance is the issue only. Here there is only ignorance, nothing else. Nobody is good, nobody is bad. Nobody deliberately wants to fool themselves, Understand this truth. This is so simple, so easy. But the mind makes it very complex because the mind, the way it has learned other things, it wants to learn the same way. And you are only asking mind to just make way for that sunshine to be seen. And he's staying like a stick, wants to go at the end. If we understand, it will just surrender. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Arunachal Ramanaya Om. Thank you everyone.